Hi Capricorn, this is your horoscope for October 2013 for everyone who have their ascendant, sun or moon in Capricorn. And if you don't know what your ascendant sign is or your moon sign is, everyone knows what their sun sign is. This is the pop astrology that everyone listens to. But I always advise you, make sure you check at least your ascendant sign, which is your physical point of incarnation. It's your physical body and what tangibly happens as events to you. And it changes every 1.5 or 2 hours. So it's much more personal than the sun sign, which changes once a month only. Or your moon sign, which changes every 2 days, 2.5 days, which is your emotional well-being and what is mostly to the forefront of your mind. What is your mind and your whole consciousness most busy with? And even if sometimes those predictions are contradictory, you see that sometimes contradicting things happen in your life, that you, from different levels when you approach it, all these things are merging actually together in a rich tapestry, because life is multi-layered. So anyway, you need to know your time of birth to know your ascendant. Go to my website, my birth chart calculator. I'm putting a direct link here, and you can find your ascendant sign, degree, and your moon sign and degree, and you know the sun sign already. And then listen at least to the ascendant sign if you don't have time for the moon. And anyway, what's happening with Taurus? Okay, the first most important thing is that there is an eclipse in Aries. It does not directly affect Taurus, but a lot of Taurus people who have their sun in Taurus, who are born in May or end of April, they might have planets in Aries as well, because wherever the sun is, Mercury and Venus. Venus is relationship, Mercury is friendships and business. These two planets are very close to the sun always. So what it means is that a lot of Taurus, especially Taurus sun people, might have Venus in Aries, for instance. Check if you have Venus or another planet in Aries, especially around the 25th degree in Aries. Check it on my birth chart calculator, because for instance, if you have your Venus from around 22 to around 28, 29 degrees in Aries, the eclipse will fall on your Venus. So there will be detachment from relationship, might be ending up of relationship, might be feeling dissatisfied with the relationship and trying to find something more fulfilling and more lasting. Or there might be just some reversal that's happening in your relationships and in your love life. Or if it's your Mercury there might be something that happens to do with how you, some reversals and a big change with your friends. Mercury rules friends and co-workers and co-players. Or with your nervous system as well. Mercury rules the nervous system, or it might be some change with Mercury rules siblings and associates, But anyway, otherwise, if you don't have planets in Aries, this eclipse will not affect you. And eclipses are the big turning points that happen in life usually. So what's the thing that's really triggering Taurus though? Mercury and Jupiter, the two planets of manifestation that trigger active, tangible results, are activating this month together. They have to act together if you want to see proper results somewhere. Are activating your sociable houses, the 3rd and the 7th houses, and both are connected to other people. So you'll be very busy actually dealing with other people, Tauruses, this month. You'll be very busy communicating. 3rd house, triggered by Jupiter and Mercury, tends to bring positive developments, and it's always positive. Mercury and Jupiter bring the positive things. Positive developments to do with communications, with networking. You can network right now, make much more acquaintances, make much more. If you have ideas to share with others, information to exchange, you'll be very successful. If you want to promote yourself, if you want to advertise yourself, if you want to do some marketing advertising, if you're in any of those branches, marketing, advertising, writing, journalism, media, 3rd house rules, all those things. If you work through the internet, something, if you're in some way involved with exchange of information as well, it will be a very productive month for you. Things will be happening, things will be developing. Maybe you go a few steps ahead, for promotion of a website, or you're making more acquaintances, more networks, or if you have a lot of documentation to do, anything which is to do with the written world, with exchange of information, with writing, with systemizing knowledge. you'll be very successful in it. Third house is also learning new things. So a lot of you might take up a new hobby. Third house rules our interests, what we're interested to do. So a lot of you might be very busy reading magazines, watching TV, but more, things that you find interesting and enjoyable. But a lot of you can actually get the courage to start something new. Maybe start learn a language, especially technical new knowledge. Maybe something to do with using a computer, or going on some course which is going to help them in their career, especially on the technical side, on some, how to do advertising, how to do marketing, how to manage people, something like that. You just a very likely time that you start learning something new. Or if you're involved in any kind of studies, will be a better time. You tend to get better results, especially if your ascendant is in Taurus. Much less if it's your sun in Taurus or your moon in Taurus. Also, third house rules siblings, so some positive developments might be happening in the life of your siblings, co-workers, teammates, playmates. If you're collaborating with someone for a project, if you're combining, like brainstorming or working in a team with people, this can be again very productive time that things get going and moving with those projects that you're doing in collaboration. Or you can create a team of associates around you right now, or attract associates who help you somehow with solving issues or working on certain things. So this is what the third house is like, which is triggered positively. And you also have the seventh house of one-to-one personal relationships and business relationships, but like business partnerships, that is triggered by Mercury and Jupiter simultaneously. So some of you might be meeting partner, the love of their life maybe, or some of you might be meeting someone they go into date with, there'll be definitely some developments to do in your relationships one-to-one. If you're single, that would be maybe someone new, that would be some date. If you might sign a business contract, because it's also contracts with others. Seventh house rules promises that we make, which is always connected to relationships, to commitments, and to business relationship as well. So some of you might be signing up business deals. If they've been trying to sign up a business deal for a while, maybe this is the time that it gets triggered and moves forward. Seventh house rules also market relationships, exchange of goods. Just like a marriage is exchanging, services to each other. So it's business, exchanging of goods. So some of you, might be having better month to do, especially if you're traders, if you're in some way, stock markets, if you're trading as well, or if you're selling things to clients one-to-one as well, if you're a service person, if you're giving services, selling, exchanging goods for things like that, you might have a very quiet month full of movements and month full of developments in that area. Those of you who are married, they just might be more busy with their partner. There might be things happening into the life of the partner which trigger their attention more, maybe something positive as well coming from the life of the partner or any kind of other partners. But I want to give you also specific days. Those of you who have their ascendant only from 18 to around 21, 22 degrees in Taurus, they're having a very powerful Jupiter influence on their seventh house. For them, definitely they might meet love, that they might have a very great cooperation with someone. Others, seventh house is other people, can be a great source of help to them. They can be somehow supported by others, so maybe someone can come into their life which gives them wisdom, clarity, more joy in life. Jupiter is all those things. Or in the best case scenario, even start a new relationship or strengthen a relationship already existing. Or those of you who have their ascendant or moon now from 9 to 14 degrees in Taurus. 9 to 14 degrees in Taurus, or those who are born from the 29th of April till the 5th of May, they're having Saturn transit. And Saturn transit will tend to overpower a lot of the things that I talked about previously. The positive Jupiter Mercury trigger Saturn, or at least it will run parallel with those positive things. And Saturn is always the more testing influence. Saturn will very likely, those born from 29th of April to the 5th of May, or with ascendant from 9 to 14 degrees, Saturn can give them more responsibilities, make them work harder without seeing the results immediately. Saturn doesn't give the results. Saturn makes you feel like a drudgery that you're working without, and often a person can feel desperate or helpless because they're not sure. It can also make you, you know, much more feeling down and much more lacking belief in yourself, and feeling much more like you're not deserving sometimes, or even another person can make you feel like that, because Saturn is making the opposition aspect to your planet, which is usually, it might be coming opposition and blockage from another person. And Saturn wants to test you how persevering you are, how loyal you are to your ideas, and how dedicated you're there. So it's not going to give you things easy. I just want to prepare you for a bit more of a fight and a struggle, and feeling a bit more down than normal. But you can get a lot of hard work done when Saturn is around. You can be very self-disciplined. You can be much harder on yourself than other time. And Saturn will definitely test your relationships if it's your ascendant from 9 to 14 degrees in Taurus, or your moon there, because moon and the ascendant are very much connected to relationships, to assessing what is important in your life in regards to other people, how to make contracts with them, what to expect from them in a relationship, what you want to give and what you want to receive. So usually Saturn makes us more aware and become more serious and become more wise in this area by giving us some painful experiences there, by giving us some crisis situations, so we don't want to be burnt anymore, so we learn our lesson the hard way. Anyway, this is for you, Taurus. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the month.